making sense of politics and the cultural divide from a different perspective. This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant on News Radio 710 Keel.
Well, hello, citizens. It is another great day in the USA, and we are here advancing the cause of American liberty and freedom. I'm C.L. Bryant, and this is America on the Edge, where you'll not live on the edge, you'll have the edge. We're broadcasting to you from within the borders of the greatest success story the world has ever known, the USA, the United States of America. Stephen, yesterday, somebody stopped me, and they said to me, they're going to myth. They said President Obama can't solve all the problems in the world. Well, I got a news flash for everybody, Stephen. The President of the United States also has another title, and that is Leader of the Free World. And if he didn't want the job, I don't know why he had to pretend to us. So we invite you to stay a while, folks. So we have a world that's on fire, boiling over like a cauldron, and we're going to talk about it. Stephen, what do we have lined up for the folks today?
To your point, actually, I agree that the president can't solve all the problems in the world, but it would be nice if he would stop making new ones.
Amen.
All right, so we are talking about one of the problems that has come up because of a lack of leadership, because of a failure of execution, is a problem in Iraq, and it is getting worse by the minute. With ISIS now bearing down on some hundreds of thousands of Christians.
They're brutal.
And they're trapped in a mountain in northern Iraq.
Women who are nursing babies don't have water, so they can't nurse.
And ISIS is on the move, and there really doesn't seem to be anyone able to stop them right now. So we will be talking about that. Well, there are also more and more immigration problems. Congress, the House did act. Of course, the Senate didn't. The president's threatening to act. And
because the House didn't.
Because the House didn't. And the vice president says we have to because, and CL, I don't know if you know this, but those are our kids.
Oh, Joe Biden, Uncle Joe said that?
Uncle Joe said that all of those.
You mean the Guatemalan kids?
Right.
The Honduran kids?
That one too, yeah.
The Mexican kids?
Yes.
Those are all our kids.
Those are all our kids.
My God, let's adopt the neighborhood here.
No need to adopt. We already got them.
They're in here.
They're ours
They were
already.
dropped off at our doorstep.
Yep. From 75 different countries. Those
our
are
kids.
Yeah, so that leads our question of the day. Do you agree with the vice president that these are our kids? We want to hear from you. Give us a phone call. 318-320-KEEL, or you can send us a tweet at The American Edge. You can also reach us on Facebook.com/America on the Edge.
It'd be a shame to be called a racist behind all that, wouldn't it?
It certainly would.
I think so.
It probably will happen.
Oh, it's going to
happen. But it certainly would. We are going to be talking to someone who knows about immigration because he himself is an immigrant. And this is Dr. Rafael Diaz-Yoserev from Cuba, and he's going to be talking to us from Florida.
Yeah, good friend of mine. The doc is a very successful man, and look forward to hearing what he has to say as a citizen who immigrated here legally. And his take on this will be very, very much appreciated.
But first, the buzz.
What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz?
So if the president doesn't have to follow the Constitution, who does?
I just don't know, Stephen. If the president of the United States, the leader of the free world, he doesn't have to follow the Constitution, there has to be anarchy everywhere.
And you're starting to see moments of that. Up in New Jersey, there was a gentleman who was disgruntled with some city services, and he was trying to levy a complaint about it at his local police department. And as he started talking to the police officer at the police department, listen to what was said.
I have major objections of what's going on over at the shelter there. My First and Fourth Amendment rights were violated. My civil rights were violated.
Well, have I heard that? Because Obama has decimated the freaking Constitution. So I don't give a damn, because if he doesn't follow the Constitution, we don't have it.
It's New Jersey.
And this is what happens when leadership breaks down. Remember, folks, every organization, every organism takes on the characteristics of its leadership. and this is what happened.
That's a great point because he's the leader of our country, and he's the leader. He's supposed to execute the laws of the country, and those cops are supposed to execute the laws in their community in New Jersey. And they're thinking, if Obama doesn't have to, we don't have to. And they're not the only officials starting to feel that way. Listen to what happened as a truck driver drove across the border from Mexico into the U.S. as he talked to a U.S. border agent.
How you doing, U.S. Border Patrol? How many people on board?
Me?
U.S. citizen.
Yeah, but does it really matter?
Not anymore, unfortunately.
Now, this was a guy, folks, who was being asked if he was a U.S. citizen, how many people he had on board. He said, it's just me. And he said, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yeah.
The guy said, yeah, but Stephen, does it really matter?
And the thing is that the Border Patrol agent said, not really.
Not really.
Not anymore.
That was a Border Patrol agent, folks, that you heard say, not really, not anymore. That is the mentality that's protecting the border, the southern border of the United States.
And it's quite a shame. That's, again, as you mentioned, the leadership of this country, the rest of the country's taking on the characteristics. You're starting to see that already. We were talking earlier about the Ebola virus outbreak, and there's a doctor that went over there, and there's also some Christian charities that went over there, and they contracted Ebola. They came back. They are starting to do better, but not everybody's happy with this whole situation. And one of the people upset about it is Ann Coulter. And she wrote an article that says, and this is the headline to the article, Ebola doc's condition downgraded to, quote, idiotic.
Wow.
In the article, she says the Christians shouldn't be going over to Africa because we've got problems here in the U.S., and it's narcissistic for Christians to be doing ministry over there.
Now, I know Ann, as you know, and Ann's going to be on the show, folks, so we're going to bring her onto the show. But you know what, Stephen, I'm thinking that Ann was making a play in order to get some speaking dates or something. She's not that stupid. She really isn't. That was a silly thing for her to say. Now, I'm sure she'd love to come on and actually talk about this. Mm-hmm. I don't want to knock her around too much on it, but to attack Christianity and the type of relief that we bring to all parts of the world, and for her to attack it like that is something I really don't think she thought about real well. She's being too influenced by Bill Maher. I think she's hanging out too much with Bill.
Trying to grab headlines.
Yeah.
I just don't think you should be criticizing how someone else feels called.
We're going to talk to Ann about that, folks, when we get a chance, as soon as we get a chance. In fact, I'm going to put in a call to her and get her on the show, and let's talk about why she said that.
Great.
Folks, you're listening to America on the Edge. This is CL Bryant, along with my co-host Stephen Parr. We'll be back in a minute.
This is America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
The Italians are not the only lovers of pizza, but just to make the Johnny's Pizza House experience more authentic for you, we invite you to be Italian. We'll whisk you far, far away to a land of romance and squisito Italian pizza. A 12-inch for just $12.99 begins your journey. Our new bacon and tomato pizza seasoned with Johnny's special Italian blend. Enjoy, no. Goodere Johnny's bacon and tomato pizza today. Johnny's Pizza House. Taste the best.
If you're tired of getting nickel and dime for your company's marketing needs, GI Marketing Group can help. We're a new, evolved marketing company with no monthly fees or markups and with quicker response times. With GI Marketing Group, there is no outsourcing. We own the production facilities, everything from print, mail, video, digital, and web design. We do it all in-house. Call us today at 318-222-1100 to start saving time and money, or visit us online at gimarketinggroup.com.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
Okay, so you own a business. Not a startup, but a real existing business. And cash is tight. What do you do when you need funds? Go to a bank? Yeah, right. Waste a lot of time, send tons of paperwork, only to find out you need to personally guarantee your home, firstborn, and everything in between. Or you call the Business Funding Group. Yeah, it's fast and simple, with a 95% approval rate for existing businesses and cash for any purpose. Equipment, inventory, expansion, cash flow, payroll. Grab a pen or put this number in your cell phone, but call 1-800-213-9850. That's 1-800-213-9850. When you call, you'll find out how to quickly and easily get the cash you need, up to $1 million with no collateral, no app or upfront fees, and your credit rating is not a factor. Plus approvals in 12 hours and funds in 2 to 3 days. Call the Business Funding Group at 1-800-213-9850. That's 1-800-213-9850. This is by far the fastest and best loan available for existing businesses. Don't delay. Call 1-800-213-9850 now.
You're listening to America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Here we go.
Yeah, welcome back to America on the Edge with CL Bryant. As CL just said, here we go. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this immigration issue. We've been asking our question of the day today. Do you agree with the vice president that these are all our kids? Talking about the illegal immigrants coming across the border. We've already been getting some responses from this on our Facebook page. Just got Sharon wrote in, I guess we could put them all in, quote, Hillary's village. So the village it takes to raise a child, you know, sure.
Oh, I like that. But I tell you, I hate to see it. And listen, I trust that all of us live to a ripe old age. But when you start starting to drool like Biden and Pelosi, I mean, it's time to really reconsider holding office.
Let's start off talking. Actually, if you want to join in this conversation, give us a phone call, 318-320-KEEL. You can also send us a tweet at The American Edge and let us know what you think there, or, of course, on our Facebook page, facebook.com/America on the Edge. I want to start with the serious aspect of this because this immigration issue, when we talked to Sean Hannity last week, he mentioned that there have been over 340,000 crimes committed in the state of Texas by illegal immigrants. Mm-hmm. And one of those crimes, not in that statistic because it just happened on Sunday, was the murder of a Border Patrol agent. But he wasn't on duty. He was fishing with his family, his wife, his kids, and his father out fishing. How many of you have gone fishing, and what a wonderful, great day?
And, Stephen, the sad thing is, say you're out fishing.
Yeah.
All the holidays all types of holidays are coming up. 4th of July just passed. Labor Day is coming up. And you're out fishing, and someone comes up to you. You don't know them. They're illegals.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they're robbing you.
Yeah.
This man was killed in front of his children, his wife, his father, and his mother by people who had been kicked out of this country.
2 illegal immigrants, and they'd come in, and then multiple times, each one of them had been shipped out of the country back to Mexico, and they came back across the border.
And this is what the people don't know. Most people think that's just a misdemeanor because usually they just charge them, $10 or something when they come back. That's a felony. When you come back into the United States after being kicked out of it, it's a felony. We had a statute here somewhere that where you could read that particular statute. But they were not prosecuted as criminals that they are.
Right.
Until now.
Right.
After they have killed a border agent in front of his family.
And the people that are opposed to enforcing the border keep saying, well, no one's illegal. You can't call somebody illegal. I'm calling these people illegal.
Because they are. You say it. Folks out there say it. Say it. Illegal. Say illegal. It's not a bad word. When you're here without adequate documentation, and no, we're not talking about going back to the days of Jim Crow, but you and I have papers.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a driver's license.
We're not talking about somebody who lost their driver's license and misplaced it at a party or something.
Right. We're not talking about having a pass to walk down the street.
No.
But we are talking about papers that identify us as American citizens, and people are killing Americans because they're undocumented. They're illegal. And, folks, you get ready to start saying that word loud and clear, especially to those clowns who want to make that some type of bad word.
This isn't the first time that there's been murders committed by illegal aliens, people who have come back into the country multiple times. There was the serial killer, Jose Resendez Ramirez.
The Night Stalker.
He was on the train that was going through from Chicago back down to Texas, back up, and in East Texas, in our listening area, he jumped off the train, went into a lady's house, and killed her. And I saw the crime scene photos. I got to see that from the sheriff who's investigating.
An illegal alien.
An illegal alien. He killed her.
Was that our kids that did that? Was that Joe Biden, one of Joe Biden's kids?
All right. So, tell you what, we've got a couple of clips to play. We're getting all hot and upset about this. But I do want to first talk about this slain agent. Play the clip of some of the news counts on this.
The two suspects in the murder of a Border Patrol agent in Texas are illegal immigrants who've been deported several times. Agent Javier Vega was off duty and out fishing with his family Sunday evening when police say the two suspects came up and tried to rob them. Vega pulled out his gun and the men opened fire.
So that's the crime. Now, here's the thing. We have those people coming across the border. We have people, not all the people that are sneaking across the border are committing crimes of that level. They are committing the crime of coming across the border illegally.
They shouldn't be here.
But they shouldn't be here. Okay, now listen to how the vice president tries to frame the debate today.
To try to do all you can to help ameliorate what is a human rights concern and problem. You know, these are not somebody else's kids. These are our kids. These are the children that lift the national ambitions of each of these countries aloft.
Yeah, it's a human rights problem. The human rights of border agent Vega was grossly encroached upon, Mr. Vice President. And by the way, where is the president? Where is the leader of the free world? On three fronts, we have him missing in action. Hamas, Crimea, and now this ISIS bunch that we're going to have to do something about eventually. And I mean quickly.
And those are things outside the country he's not leading on. He's also not leading on immigration.
No.
If you really want something done, why not go? The House has passed bills. Why not go to Harry Reid and say, you know what, you were reelected by the people out of Nevada. That's one state away from the border. Why don't you start doing your job so that I don't have to sit here twiddling my thumbs?
But, oh, man, when you talk about twiddling your thumbs, that's exactly what he was saying.
That's what he said.
That he didn't want to do, but yet he is, and he's blaming the Congress when it's his Senate. His guy, Harry Reid, who has all of these bills laying on his desk that he has done nothing about, absolutely nothing. Where is the leadership in the country? Folks, this is creating crisis.
The only leadership that really seems to be out there when it comes to anything on the border, if you listen to what Senator Jeff Sessions said, it's new media. That's where the only leadership is coming from on this. Not coming from the president, not coming from the Senate. And he says it wasn't even coming from the establishment Republicans in the House, but that new media. This is an article in National Journal that says that Jeff Sessions credited new media for getting members of Congress, of the House of Representatives, to scrap the plan that was out there and recraft the plan that Congressman Fleming introduced us to live on our air last Friday.
Yeah.
And without the new media, without people like you and I on the radio, without people like Breitbart's legacy, Breitbart.com, without Drudge, none of this would be working. There would be no leadership anywhere.
Just a year ago, new media, as they're calling it, you and I, Breitbart, and Drudge still is being beat about the head and neck for saying the things that he says. And, of course, Fox News is forever in the crosshairs, but it is new media. And it is programs like this one, America on the Edge, that does bring people to the realization that we must now say something, stand up, talk about it, and find some solutions.
Coming up next, we are going to be talking with Dr. Diaz-Yoserev, coming from Cuba, and talking to him about immigration. If you'd like to help us out here on America on the Edge, if you'd like to support what we are doing, all you have to do is give us a phone call. You can call our 1-855 number. I just had the number. I don't have it memorized. It was just in there, and now it's gone.
Rick Perry moment.
Yeah, well, what's the number? You got
Handsome
the number
Kyle.
for me? Handsome Kyle? It was just in there. 1-855-288-6987.
That way, Handsome Kyle.
855-288-6987. We will be right back with more America on the Edge.
This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
It's a summer sizzler showcase. You could win a $5,000 gift card to any Louisiana Boardwalk store, including Bass Pro Shops. Presented by the outlets at Louisiana Boardwalk. Look online to win at 710keel.com.
SB Magazine, North Louisiana's premier publication, is your source for local entertainment, home decor ideas, gardening information, fashion trends, and seasonal gift guides. Every month, we take you behind the scenes at some of Shreveport-Bossier's most fun events in Eye on SB. And you'll find SB Magazine everywhere. But the best way to make sure you have the most current issue is to subscribe. It's just $16 for 12 months. Call Debbie today or go to our website, sbmag.net. SB Magazine, the pulse of Shreveport-Bossier.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Byrne. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
Is your house just not cool enough when you walk in from work? You deserve to sit in the cool and comfort of your own home after a long, hard day. Give the friendly folks at Premier a call at 222-1980.
8 years ago, Louisiana Power Sports opened for business in Houghton. Well, a lot has happened since then. Louisiana Power Sports has grown into the #1 exclusive Polaris dealer in the South, and we're still growing. Louisiana Power Sports is now open in our big new building on Benton Road, just 1/2 mile north of I-220 in Bossier City. Over 30,000 square feet with a bigger showroom holding more new Polaris ATVs and side-by-sides than ever. A huge new state-of-the-art service department and more parts and accessories. Come see the new store, say hi to everyone you know, and see and test drive the new 2015 Polaris models. Louisiana Power Sports says thank you, Louisiana, thank you, Arkansas, thank you, Texas, for 8 great years in Houghton, and invites you to come see us in our big new location, now open at 3715 Benton Road, 1/2 mile north of I-220 in Bossier City.
Louisiana Power Sports, get ready to ride.
LouisianaPowersports.com.
Hello, I'm Alice Foster. If you're a woman 65 or older and you love your family like I do, please think about this. You're an important part of your family's life, but your risk of getting breast cancer increases as you get older. Call your doctor for a mammogram now. Medicare pays for most of the cost, and it's the most important step we can take to ensure precious time with our loved ones. I work hard to fight breast cancer. Please join me. A mammogram is the best gift you can give. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Let me cut through all of the noise.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2.
It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind.
Right here on your news and weather station.
Where consumers of hard news go.
On News Radio 710 Keel. 710 Keel. 710 Keel. You're listening to America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with CL Bryant. I'm Stephen Parr. Our question of the day: do you agree with the Vice President that these are all our kids coming across the borders? The flood of children are ours. They belong to us. Let us know. Give us a phone call, 318-320-KEEL. You can also send us a note on Twitter at The American Edge or on Facebook, facebook.com/America on the Edge. Our guest today is Dr. Rafael Diaz-Yoserev, and a doctor, cosmetic and vascular surgeon, board certified in Florida, and an immigrant himself from the nation of Cuba. Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Diaz-Yoserev.
Well, thank you for having me, and very nice to speak with you again.
Rafael, my friend, I thank you for being here on America on the Edge. we want to get your take on the immigration crisis that's going on in this country, and we want to get it from the standpoint of you having come to this country yourself. I believe you were 14 or younger when you came here. How old were you?
I was 14, exactly.
Tell us the Rafael story.
This was at a time about 2 years after communism overtook my country of birth, Cuba. And at the time, children were being sent to the countryside for indoctrination and separation from their families. And so parents, being afraid of having their children under that type of communist indoctrination, thought that sending us to the United States for a brief time, which they all thought that it was going to be a matter of 4 to 6 months before communism would be brought down in Cuba, that it would be a tenable idea. And so, many children came or were sent over here, including me, under an operation called Peter Pan at the time, and arranged, with the permission of the government, so it was legal to begin with, but also under the auspices of the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese of Miami. So it was a very orderly and legal process at the time. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that we were able to go back in 6 months, being over 50 years.
Were you brought over here without your parents? Is that what you're saying? You were sent just on your own?
That is exactly true.
So there's there's a parallel then to your story to what is being claimed is going on with some of the immigrants coming up from Mexico, from Guatemala, from Central America, and that some kids are being sent to the United States. Do you see the parallel? Where does the parallel break down?
I see a parallel perfectly well, and that's why I'm able to perfectly identify with these children that are coming over, except that the situation is totally different. In our situation, and the first and foremost thing that we need to understand, that it was done orderly and legally. And secondly, that we were really sent by ourselves ahead of our parents to save the children. Okay, those two differences are very significant, because what is going on now is that most of these, and I'm going to say children, it's better to say minor, because not the majority of them, I don't think they're even like children, they are teenagers.
Right.
But the majority of these minors are coming over to join their parents, who really have been here for several years, who abandoned their children in their native countries to come here, and they are illegal themselves.
Fantastic. Rafael, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. In comparison to, would you compare, you being from Cuba, you will know, you will remember this. You and I are close to the same age. You will remember this. Do you compare what's happening down on our border with the Guatemalans and the Hondurans to what happened when Castro executed or instituted the Muriel boat lift? Is that similar? Or are we being flooded by criminals that have been let go from those particular countries, in your opinion?
Well, both. But once again, one thing that I was going to tell you about the present situation is these parents that are here illegally, have been here illegally for years, are paying coyotes and people smugglers thousands of dollars, between $7,000 and $12,000, to bring one children across Mexico to the border. Now, comparing that to Mariel, what happened with the Mariel boat lift was that Castro at one point, in order to relieve the pressure that was building up inside Cuba, Fidel at one point, he has this knack to turn bad things into a propaganda cook for himself. He said, whoever wants to leave Cuba can leave Cuba. I am not holding anybody back. He thought that, it was going to be 1,000, 2,000 people. Then all of a sudden, all the Cubans in Miami started mobilizing to go and pick up their relatives. That, once again, was done with the permission of the government, and boats would go to Cuba, pick the relatives up, and come back to the port in Miami and register everybody, so it was done in a legal fashion with the permission of the government of the United States of America. So nobody was coming in secretly. What happened with the criminals is that then once again, Fidel, when we thought that so many people were leaving, began to tell the people that went there with boats to pick up their relatives that they either had to carry with them these other people that they didn't know, or they would not allow the boat to come back to Miami. And those people were the mentally infirm and the criminals and Castro agents that they were able to send to Miami during the Mariel boat leave. Once again, there was a very controlled type of thing that was done under the auspices of the permission of the United States of America, and it took about a month.
Let me ask you another question, comparing and contrasting the two events. Obviously, the Castro regime, totalitarian, communist regime, one of the reasons why defenders of this immigration surge think that we should just let them all in is they claim that the children are fleeing from crime. They're fleeing from oppression. Do you think that the governments and the countries in Central America right now compare to the Castro regime of the 1950s?
That is absolutely not true, and the fact of the matter is that these countries have, a relatively high index of crime and insecurity, but they have been like that for many years. Actually, they are more peaceful now than 15, 20, 30 years ago when they had communist insurrections within their borders. So now, even though there's, a high degree of thugs and crime and all of those things in those countries, that doesn't mean that the airspace is closed. They have normal commercial traffic and normal tourism. So if you go to any of those countries, you can walk on the street. Obviously, you don't want to go to the bad neighborhoods, just like you don't want to do that in Chicago or here in Miami. But, you don't get killed if you go out on the street at 9 o'clock.
Rafael.
That is a usual technique of trying to convert this thing into like a compassionate type, humanitarian type of crisis instead of what it is.
Rafael,
these children, yes.
As a professional, as a businessman in Miami, as an American yourself who did in fact immigrate to this country, and now enjoy the fruits of this nation as so many before you enjoy. What is your take or your vision on the effect of unbridled, illegal immigration from your perspective?
That will be, from my perspective, it will be the downfall of this country or any other country. Any country that cannot establish its sovereignty by being able to control its borders will perish. It'll only be a matter of time. It's like, today in the Miami Herald, which is a very respectable newspaper, the major newspaper in Florida, they came out with a story that the Customs and Border Patrol agency spending now millions of dollars started this month with TV and radio commercials and a song and things like that in those three countries, Guatemala, Honduras, and Salvador, telling these children that they shouldn't come here and telling the parents that they shouldn't, send the children by themselves because it is very dangerous and this, that, and the other. And then they say that they have seen a decrease in the number of children from 3,000 a day to 1,500 a day. How many children is that? It's even more than what they have been telling us. So it is either that they made a mistake in the newspaper or, and it is really not 30,000 children per month, or it is another instance in which our own government is lying to us.
Let me switch topics just slightly here. Last week, there was a story that we covered here on America on the Edge, and I talked to you briefly on the phone about it, not on the air, but to just kind of getting some background. But the U.S. government was conducting operations inside Cuba between 2009 and 2011, where they were trying to create a social media network, kind of like Twitter, that Zunzuneo is what it was called. And then they were also trying to recruit young people, 20-year-olds from Venezuela, Costa Rica, and Peru to go in and set up health clinics to try and recruit dissidents inside Cuba. I said last week on the air I didn't think this was a good idea. I thought it was going to harm some of our charitable work that we do through USAID. I think you have a little different take on it, and I would like for people to hear your view of what the U.S. government is trying to do in Cuba with that operation.
Right. Since our conversation, we have heard, some declarations from the people and the organizations in Venezuela and Ecuador and those countries and Peru that participated in this thing. And it was not for them to try to establish roots, relationships with the dissidents, and not even to try to recruit dissidents. Was to establish relationship with the youth, the young people of Cuba, to essentially show them what else was out there in the world and how they could put forth their aspirations and their wanting, to be free, and their desires for liberty and freedom, and how to work within their confine to express what they wanted. These people say, the ones that went there, that the commandment that they have was not a political desire to instigate uprising against the government or anything like that. Now, my personal take is that anything that can be done within Cuba by any free government, by the aid of any free government, including all of the free governments of the America, to overthrow the government of Fidel Castro should be welcome, because the only way that communism can be taken down is by fire. Otherwise, these people will never, ever relinquish their hold.
Rafael, I want to have you on often because I know that this immigration issue is only going to grow larger in our American living room. And I want to thank you so much for being on. And I promise you that I have made the distinction now in my phone between you and Rafael Cruz, Ted Cruz's dad.
That is a good thing. Even though I love Cruz dearly.
But I want to thank you again, and God bless you, and God keep you. You've been an excellent guest, and I'll make sure that Michelle gets you on often. She's in love with you now.
Oh, thank you. Listen, if you give me 10 more seconds, I want to say I am all in favor of immigration. I don't want to sound too harsh, because people, I know what they always say, oh, he's an immigrant himself. How can he not want these people? I am an immigrant, and I know exactly what their plight is. But I am in favor of immigration that is legal, fair, and orderly. And that is very good for the country.
Hear, hear. Amen to that. Listen, God bless and keep you. We'll talk to you soon. Folks, you're listening to America on the Edge with CL Bryant, Stephen Parr.
Giving you the edge. This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr. On News Radio 710 Keel.
Doctors Thornton, Pugh, Ollier, and Watkins from the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center are excited to tell you about a new, made-for-iPhone hearing aid, Resound Links. Resound Links is the fully featured hearing aid designed to connect directly with iPhone, iPad, and iPod Touch. Built with revolutionary technology to bring you a smarter, smaller, and more connected hearing experience. Call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links. That's 888-408-6318 to schedule your appointment to learn all about Resound Links. Apple, iPad, iPhone, and iPod Touch are trademarks of Apple Incorporated, registered in the U.S. and other countries. Once again, call the Ear, Nose, and Throat Center at 888-408-6318 today to experience Resound Links.
So we decided to upgrade the look of our home.
Improve the curb appeal.
We decided to add the look of stone to the exterior.
We really like the stacked stone look.
Yeah, but when I checked into the price, it was ridiculous. No way could we afford it.
Then a friend told me about Genstone, Genstone.
Genstone comes in lightweight panels. They've actually engineered the hassle out of installation. No mortar, no mesh. It was easy. Even I could do it.
We just screwed the panels to the wall and it looks like stone. I mean, it really looks like stone.
Yeah, from the box to the wall in minutes.
We love the look of our home now.
And Gemstone is durable, comes with a 25-year warranty, and offers additional R-value for insulation.
If you want the look of stone at a price you can afford, call Gemstone at 800-955-STONE.
Trust me, you'll save money.
And you'll love the look. 800-955-STONE. That's 800-955-7866.
Visit gemstoneproducts.com.
How are you going to pay for college? Family trust fund, the lottery, a student loan? Hey, the Army National Guard can pay your tuition. Not 1/4, not 2/3, all of it. And that's for serving part-time. Go to our website, same as our phone number, www.1800GoGuard.com. Can you pay for college? In the Army National Guard, you can.
Sponsored by the Texas National Guard. Aired by the Texas Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Rush Limbaugh, the authority for all things right.
Let me cut through all of the noise. These senators do not want to control immigration. They want to expand it. Wealth will be redistributed from the middle class to a new class of poor. But what we're actually doing is importing poverty in order to enhance big government.
Rush is on every weekday from 11 to 2, right here on your news and weather station, News Radio 710 Keel. This is America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with CL Bryant. I'm Stephen Parr. We have been asking our question of the day, do you agree with the Vice President that all these immigrants coming across the border, they're our kids. They're our kids. Hey, we just got a call in from Tom, and Tom says, I say all Tea Party members adopt 2 or 3 of them each and raise them with good conservative values. I bet this administration would fix the problem then.
Oh yeah, if Tea Party took responsibility for anything, he'd step up to the plate, and there's no question about it. That would drive him out of his cave. There's no question about it. So what else is Uncle Joe up to?
Well, we have some breaking news here. This is from the Washington Post. Apparently, the John Walsh, who is the current incumbent in the senator from Montana, he's a Democrat. He's running for re-election. He won his party's nomination. And then, after winning the party's nomination, it was revealed that he had plagiarized his dissertation.
What? You mean a Democrat running for office is guilty of, Joe Biden was guilty, I think, back in law school of plagiarizing some type of dissertation. That's rampant among them.
It came out, Joe Biden was running for president and for the 88 nomination.
He's vice president now.
And he was shown that he had plagiarized the speech from a British politician.
Do you mean he could have been president?
Well, yeah.
If he hadn't been caught plagiarizing?
Maybe. Back in 88, he could have run. I guess he would have lost to George H.W., but...
he lost to George H.W. There has been no question about it. So the beat goes on.
But so now he's vice president. So,
and now he's making stupid statements like the kids knocking on who are coming across illegally, by the way. And folks, I want you to say it. Say that word, illegal. They are illegal aliens. They're coming across our borders.
But at least when he says that they're our kids, that's a Joe Biden original.
That is
Senator John Walsh is now dropped out of the running. And so the question is, how will he be replaced on the ballot for the Democrats? So it basically looks like this is going to be a seat that the Republicans will pick up.
In Montana, which, of course, is trying very hard. I was up there in December. They're trying very hard to go blue, big blue. In Montana,
it's blue sky. It's big sky country, and the sky is blue.
Big. So there's no more beautiful place on earth.
Let's talk about what's going on over in Iraq. We're going to shift gears here because there really is a crisis that's been developing here with ISIS. The Islamic State in Iraq and Syria has been invading more and more territory, and they just took over a town called Karakosh, Iraq. It's about the size of Natchitoches, about 50,000 people. They're mostly Christians. Thousands of Iraqi, they're called Yazidis, have been corralled into a mountaintop by ISIS, and they have no way out. And so it looks like it could become a massacre. And the question is, what's going to happen? France has called for an emergency UN Security Council meeting on this.
The French?
The French.
The French have called for an emergency UN meeting.
Yes.
Not America.
Not America.
Not Great Britain.
No.
The French.
Yes. And by the way, this is the second UN Security Council meeting called for in the last 3 weeks that was not called for by the United States. Britain called the one after the Malaysian airliner was shot down by Ukrainian separatists supported by Russia.
President Obama, if you did not want the job of leader of the free world, why did you pretend you did? How is it now that the French are leading?
Maybe it's because they share an aircraft carrier with England, and they feel like they got to step up, and it's like a timeshare aircraft carrier they have.
But see, folks, this is what we were saying at the very outset of the show, and we're still saying it now, and we're winding down in this show because there's a lot to talk about on this, Stephen. When we talk about people who are trapped on a mountaintop with no water, no food, they're being starved out. You have babies up there, over 100-degree heat.
Right.
In the daytime, and I imagine it gets kind of cold up on that mountain at night.
At nighttime, there's no heat left. There's no air and moisture in the air to keep in heat, so it will get cold at night.
The weak, the old, the young, they go pretty quickly in those types of circumstances, and the French, not the Americans, are leading the way in this. I have a feeling that some boots are going to be on the ground and some planes are going to be in the air here within 24 to 48 hours.
And the president is expected to make an announcement on it. The Pope has called for international action to try and protect these Christians.
The Pope, I can understand speaking out, but what I don't understand is the President of the United States being silent.
Here's what happened with the ISIS taking over the town. The Kurdish army was fighting them, and they ran out of ammunition, and so they had to pull back, and that's why the town was taken.
Wow.
From my standpoint, if there's any part of the Middle East other than Israel that we have to support, and we have to support Israel, and I'm not talking about what the administration's been doing. We need to support Israel. The only other part of the Middle East that I see, and I look at a group of people and I go, those are people we can work with, I think it's the Kurds in northern Iraq. We need to be supporting those people.
I'm with you on that, brother. I really am. And there's decisions to be made, folks. Whether or not we go in heavy, somebody's got to go in because we are still the leaders of the free world, Americans, but we don't have a leader of the free world in Washington. This is America on the Edge. I'm CL Bryant. We'll be back in a minute.
You're listening to America on the Edge with C.L. Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Have you ever thought, I wish I didn't have to search for the best price on printing or direct mail? Tired of trying to design your own material on some confusing website just to get to the end and it's not that professional look your business needs? Well, stop searching and call Graphic Industries. We've been waiting on your business, ready to help you with your printing and direct mail needs. Graphic Industries offers all types of print, stationery, brochures, flyers, catalogs, door hangers, books, pocket folders, postcards, variable printed letters, and much, much more. Graphic Industries can direct mail for you, too. You can customize a mailing list, target a certain demographic, or just flood the market and get your name in the homes of thousands of potential clients. Lowest prices, best quality, and a faster turn time. Visit us online at graphicindustries.net. or call us today at 318-222-1100. Graphic Industries, the #1 choice of printing and direct mail.
If the number on your thermostat is going up just as quickly as the temperature outside, your air conditioner may have a serious problem. Give the friendly folks over at Premier Heating and Cooling a call at 222-1980.
Hello, everybody. This is Henry Burns. God, faith, and freedom are not free. Many have paid the price. Let freedom ring. What a great radio program. Go get them, CL.
William F. Duncan doesn't just offer auto, home, and life insurance. He does it with great personal service. William F. Duncan has covered Caddo and DeSoto parishes for over 18 years. Call him today, 318-532-4300. Tell him CL sent you.
Stay tuned for a surprise summer sale from Pro Flowers, our biggest sale on romantic red roses.
Was Valentine's Day the last time you surprised your sweetheart with something special? Have things become predictable since then? Time to spice things up again with a huge bouquet of romantic red roses from Pro Flowers. August is National Romance Month, and to celebrate, Pro Flowers is offering a special deal. Get our popular 18 romantic red roses plus a free glass vase for just $19.99. Yes, not just a dozen, but 18 stunning red roses sent fresh from the fields that are guaranteed to stay fresh and beautiful for at least 7 7 days. Plus a free glass vase, all for just $19.99. Imagine the look on her face when a stunning bouquet of 18 romantic red roses arrives from you, totally out of the blue. Hurry, because this amazing deal ends this Friday. The only way to get this incredible offer is to go to proflowers.com, click the blue microphone in the upper right corner, and enter the secret code 2121. That's proflowers.com, secret code 2121.
The Keel Business Partner of the Day. We announce it each day during Rush at 12:30. And you log on to 710keel.com and get signed up as a VIP to start earning points. From News Radio 710 Keel. You're listening to America on the Edge with CL Bryant and Stephen Parr on News Radio 710 Keel.
Welcome back to America on the Edge with CL Bryant. I'm Stephen Parr, and we have been asking folks all day long, do you agree with Uncle Joe, our Vice President, Joe Biden? Do you agree that these kids coming across the border from countries, kids you've never met, kids you've never seen, some kids that are now older than you.
But all of a sudden, they're related.
Yeah, they're all our kids. Do you agree with that? That's what we've been asking. You can call 318-320-KEEL. You can also send us a tweet at The American Edge, at The American Edge. We're on Facebook.com/America on the Edge.
And America is on the edge, folks, as you well know. Just read your newspapers, listen to your news telecast. You'll see that all over the world, America, even though we're doing this president is doing his very best to keep us out of any type of fray, that very action is giving away and betraying the fact that we are no longer, or we're becoming less and less, the leaders of the free world. The other title of the President of the United States is this: leader of the free world. And no, he can't solve all of the world's problems, but we need leadership in Washington, D.C., because wherever America fails to shed her light, the darkness began to invade, as we see happening on the globe now, Stephen.
Here's one thing I want folks to remember. This is the same guy who won the Nobel Peace Prize before he had been in office for an entire year.
And we ask, why did he get it then? And we're asking, why did he get it now?
The reason they gave it to him, though, is they were trying to influence his behavior.
Well, evidently, we failed, or they failed miserably, the folks in Stockholm.
And the world's not more peaceful?
No.
The world's not more free?
No.
The world's not safer?
No.
I said this at the time, but you just can't give a Nobel Peace Prize to somebody because you think they might do something in the future. Why not give it to people who are actually making a difference now?
Like our men and women in uniform all over the world. They are making a difference, and every day we want to, in fact, give them their proper recognition. And I also want to, again, thank each and every one of you for tuning in. What we have going on.
We just had a phone call from Belinda in Marshall. Actually, Belinda in Marshall's on the line right now. And Belinda, thanks for calling in to America on the Edge. What do you say about our question of the day?
Your question of the day. I firmly believe that the children need to be returned to their home country. They are not our children. I disagree with the Vice President. And I would also like to add that I think the Iraqi war, the United States did not make a comment because the president was either thinking about golf, playing golf, or just got through playing golf.
Melinda, thank you so much for that call. We invite you to call in again where we can talk to you longer. Folks, that's about a wrap for us. Thank you again for all of your love and outpouring of love for my wife, Jane. Jane, I love you. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you in about 23 hours.
Keep America strong and living free.
Your station for news, weather,